Hey, this is Matrix Chapter Section 1, Part 3 video. It's going to show you how to multiply matrices, and this is definitely the one you're going to check out. So I already went and wrote down what it is you kind of have to do. I'd like to tell you that to do number 10, you would just have to take whatever is in A times whatever in B, and you'd be done. And it seems kind of logical, but unfortunately, that is not the way this works. So it's row times column plus row times column. So the only real way to tell you how to do this is to just demonstrate it and to show it to you. So first thing we do need to establish, though, is because there was an addition problem that was impossible to do. Sometimes it's impossible to do in multiplication problems as well. And the way you determine that is this. Matrix A is a 2 by 2 matrix. Matrix B is also a 2 by 2 matrix. If that number and that number matches, you can do it. So on number 11, matrix B is 2 by 2. Matrix C has 2 rows with 3 columns. But it's still possible to do that because those two numbers match. Okay, now BD would be a 2 by 2 matrix. And the D matrix, clear on the end there, has 3 rows and 2 columns. But since that one and that one do not match, this guy's going to be impossible to do. So the easy way to remember that would be to see if those two numbers match up, and you would know there's no work to do on number 12. The hard way would be try to set it up like I'm about to do on number 10, and you're going to find out it's impossible. All right, so let's go back and tackle number 10. This is a little crazy, so hopefully you can follow. So row times column. So we start with the first row in the first matrix and the first column in the second matrix. So the first number that got circled, or the very first number, was -3. I hope that makes sense. And I want to times him by what was first in the column in the other one. So I still think that would make sense, right? I mean, the -3 is the very first number, the 13 is the very first number. But here's where it gets a little weird. Then to that, we're going to add the second number that I circled up there, which was a 4, and the second number that got circled in the column, which was -7. And that would be the first answer. I know, crazy. Okay, so I'm not going to bother doing that math yet, because you could certainly pick up a calculator to do that. All right, so here's what we do for the second one. So since this 4 is in that top row, if I want that corner of the answer, I go first row, and second column. So now, again, first number I circled was -3, but in the other matrix, first number I circled was 10. Plus, the 4 is the second number that got circled in that first row, and 31 was the second number circled in that column. So that would give me the upper right answer of this matrix. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, if I wanted to do the bottom answers, let's find a different color. So the bottom row, to get the first answer, I would go with the first column. So I have a -5, which I circled first in that bottom set of answers, times 13 is the first number that got circled in the row of the B matrix, plus the -1 is the second number circled. The -7 is the second number circled. How you doing? It's making sense? Kind of crazy, huh? All right. The -1 is that last number, but he's in the bottom row. And that 31 is in the last column. So I want the first number circled times the first number circled plus the second number circled times the second number circled. And there you go, folks. Now you got to pick up a calculator and actually do it. So I am literally going to pick up a calculator. If you hear that sound, that's me picking up a calculator. Would help if I picked up a calculator that had a working battery in it, though. Aha, here we go. Okay, so at this point, if you get this far, guys, you would just be kind of crazy not to just do this on a calculator. So I'm typing -3 times 13, parentheses and all, plus 4 times -7. Now, as a math teacher, I would like to think that I could do that in my head, but why bother if you can get yourself a guarantee? So that answer, I got to scroll up a little bit, is -67. So that's that guy. He's done. So that's row 1, column 1. Now I need that guy. So let's see, -3 times 10. And certainly you could do some of this in your head as you go. I know that's going to be -30 plus 4 times 31. Well, that's 124, but hey, I might as well make life easy on myself and use a calculator to find out that was 94. So I'm just going to keep going here. -5 times the 13. And that one I'm going to do in my head, right? -1 times -7 will just be a +7. And I got -58. And then that bottom one, man, is that a 20? That's how to read my own writing. -5 times, well, it's a 10. Okay. So that would be -50 plus -31. That gives me -81. Okay, and these were matrices, so you really do need to do this. All right, there's one example. And I'm going to start this second example. I doubt that I'm going to have time on this particular video to get it done. So you might have to check out the part 4 video to see its conclusion. So at any rate, though, this is kind of important, right? It's a 2x2 matrix times a 2x3 matrix. The fact that those two numbers match means I can do them. All right, so let me get rid of these circles. And let's get it started. Okay, B times C. So row 1, column 1. So row times column, and then you have to add the individual parts. So I get a 13, first number circled, times -6, plus second number circled, second number circle. So that will give me the upper left cell for that one. All right. Moving on. So now I want row 1, second column. So that will be 13 times 9 plus 10 and -3. So what's different about this one? Hopefully you see it coming. This one's going to have a third answer. So again, first row, third column. So I got a 13 times a -2 plus, circled a 10, second up there, and an 8. But let's be honest, if you do get this far, the rest of it, or at least the picking up the calculator part, is going to make it awful darn easy. All right, I'm going to stop here, and if you need to see the conclusion of this particular B times C, and by the way, make sure we're doing this problem right here, feel free to run the next video. If not, it's just a procedure, right? Once you remember the procedure, it's a matter of picking up a calculator, so it shouldn't be that bad. All right, folks, thanks for watching.